Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Darren, and with the patch 7.25 there were a lot of changes to rogues. While Assassination didn't get too many changes in this 0.5 update, we did have a few changes that I feel like are worth covering and making a guide for, especially for PvP. We got a few changes to the specialization. While not major, I do want to make a guide to help as many of you guys either get started or get better at playing Assassination Rogue in 7.25. Now, compared to last video, this video is going to be slightly more noob friendly, but I'm really just going to be brief on the very basics. If you want to check out an older video from patch 7.2, it has a lot more basic information for brand new players, so you're free to check out that video, then come back to this one to get all of your updates for this new patch. Anyway guys, let's get on to the video. Now, for all the changes for Assassination, we got Toxic Blaze replacing Agonizing Poison in the Talents bar. We also have Exsanguinate getting changed up a little, where it actually costs energy, but the tick rate is only slightly faster. We have Shiv on our Honor bar, which is a slow for us, and the original Shiv is now replaced with a newer Toxin, which has exactly the same effect, just a different name. We also had a baseline damage adjustment, mostly for PvE purposes, but they translate well into PvP. And now Poison Bomb from your artifact trait is buffed by your Vendetta, so if those two are available at the same time, then the damage is going to be that much higher. In the first row, we want to go Master Poisoner, which provides a poison damage increase as well as utility capabilities increase. Then we have Subterfuge, which provides you a lot of CC in the opener, which allows you control and a better setup, and as well as a road damage increase. Afterwards, we want to go for Vigor, which gives us higher energy to pull from, since our abilities are very costly, and a slight energy regen increase, which we need. Then Elusiveness, because feint damage reduction is way too strong in the game and definitely should be utilized. Afterwards, you want to go for Internal Bleeding, which provides you a bleed, which gives you energy back, it makes your kidneys a little bit more offensive, and it's a bit more consistent than Prey in the Weak. Then Toxic Blade is probably the best option next tree because of Master Poisoner, and this ability increases your poison damage by so much. And then in the end, we want to go for Venom Rush because the energy regen is very much needed for Assassination Rogues. For the staple selection of Honor Talents, the best one to start off with is Gladiator's Medallion, unless you are a human or an orc. If you are a human or an orc, Adaptation or Relentless might be a good pick for you, depending on different situations, but because you have CC reduction or CC escapes, then you might find more use out of Relentless and Adaptation. In the next row, Reinforced Armor is good, as health increase goes well against melee and casters alike, but if you're going against heavy melee cleaves in arenas, then Sparring might be a better option. In the next row, we have Maneuverability, which gives you Sprint to suppress all slows, allowing you a bit more mobility. But if you are trying to peel for a healer, then Shiv might be up to your liking against some heavy melee cleaves. In the next row, Unfair Advantage is the best option. As long as your health is higher than the target you're killing, your crits do a little bit more damage, which is nice. In the next row, Deadly Brew is still the best, as it combines the ability for Deadly Poison to also come with a Wound Poison, way too convenient to not use. Next row, Creeping Venom is probably the best for any sustained damage build, but System Shock has been seen to work out in some situations where you need a little bit of burst, especially against Paladins, so it might be worth going to that as well. Because the 2v2s start with 20% dampening, you can go elaborate planning just for 2v2s to increase your damage burst without having to lose too much of healing reduction capabilities. If you want to have some fun in BGs, then Flying Daggers might be up to your choice in the Honor Talents. The AoE damage of Phantom Knights is actually pretty high, and the spread pressure is pretty insane. Now for the basic rotation of an Assassination Rogue. Build common points with Mutilate, maintain Rupture, maintain Garrote, and try to line up Kidneys when you want to stun an enemy. When you don't want to stun an enemy, which is whenever you don't have any kind of damage lineups, then feel free to use your common points into Envenoms. For Rupture, try to get it between 4 or 5 common points. It doesn't really matter because common points really just decide how long the Rupture is going to last. For Envenom, you want to go between 4 and 5 common points. Usually the higher, the better, and the same thing goes for a Kidney Shot. And besides that, all you need to do is maintain your bleeds, keep training one target, keep auto-attacking it because it keeps applying your poisons. And that is the basics of how to deal damage and basic play of an Assassination Rogue. There's a couple different openers. First one is against melee. In most cases, you can go with a cheap shot into Garrote, into Mutilate, and set up Rupture. Bam, you have your basics. That's a basic opener. From there, you can start building common points and start hitting your Envenoms.
now for a couple of nights. Need to rebuild myself to come alive. It all makes sense now that the lights out. It's a different world to me, it makes me feel down.
This particular opener is great against casters like healers and mages. You can open up with Garrote, Mutilate into Rupture, and from there on you can build up for a full kidney without having to lose a DR on it later for future setups. If you do want to stun the caster, then you want to open up with Garrote to lock him out, Mutilate because silence will still be available, and then follow after the silence into a cheap shot to lock them down. Then pop Rupture and bam, you have your whole setup. When bursting with Toxic Blades, you want to basically line up all of your dots on the enemy prior to it, so make sure the dots are already ticking on the enemy. When you're going for damage, make sure to pop Vendetta into Toxic Blade, so then Toxic Blade itself can deal more damage. Get your artifact weapon out and get as many Envenoms while Toxic Blade is available. And that about wraps it up for the PvP guide for Assassination 725. If you guys have any further questions or comments, feel free to use and abuse the comment section, and I'll eventually get to you guys whenever I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see you guys in another video.